Hey guys, welcome to a new vlog. It's another week of the kitchen stuff, and it's honestly really feeling like a kitchen and I could probably give up now. But we're not going to. We've still got a few things to do. Most importantly, the stairs are coming this week, which Chris and I are gonna be so thankful for. A few other things, it's a bit of a mess. I feel like I go through a phase of like one night I'll clean it really well and then the next day I start a new project and it becomes a mess. But we're waiting for some extra shelves for the cabinets, so hopefully those are gonna come. But can't wait to show you what we're up to this week. Also, some eagle-eyed people saw that I moved the rug from the front entry into the kitchen, and it was only temporary just to see if the size worked, but now we love it with all the colors. So it is going to stay, and I've ordered a replacement for the entry, so can't wait to show you that. And then this is just an under pad because it's really slippery. So I feel like one of these rubbery ones is probably the best bet, so I'm gonna roll that out in a little bit. Today's the day. I feel like I need pump up music because I gotta pump myself up because I'm gonna tackle this today. And I've been putting it off for so long. So I think I possibly told you that when there was like the stainless panel here, the wiring that was coming out had an electrical box to plug the range hood in. But when we took the panel off, that had to come off. So I had to install the electrical box. Then I have to mount the thing. So there's like a wall bracket that has to be mounted, and then the range hood like hangs on it. So I'm gonna go shut off the kitchen power and then work on installing this bad boy. Sorry if I just broke your ears. I have installed 2 of these in my life, and I'm hoping that third one's a charm, right? I should be able to figure this out. So I think you install this first, and then it goes in the top here. This just pushes out, and then wire it, screw it on there, put that on there, and we're all done. So that seemed really easy, but I don't actually know if it's gonna be that easy. So let's go turn this off first and go from there. I just had a little refresher on what I'm doing, and I'm not going to explain how to do it to you because number one, I'm not a professional, and number two, if you really don't know what you're doing, you should probably just hire someone or get someone to help you. So yeah, but I will let you know the outcome. Got all the fuses switched off except for the overhead lights, so hopefully I will be okay. I got the wiring done. I just installed the bracket. Don't worry, the line isn't showing me where the metal is. It's showing me if this way is level. So now I'm gonna put this up. So now I'm installing the metal ducting, and I've got it all here. I've got my snips, my metal tape stuff. So I'm gonna cut this to the length. I'm accounting for this sticking in a bit. So there's going to be like a little bit of an overlap on either side so that I have something to tape onto. Here is the range hood now that it is up, and of course I am planning to cover it, but at least because I'm covering the old one that never had anything over it, it looks fine as is for now until I get to that job. I have obviously partnered with a few different companies for this kitchen, and I owe them, you know, photography and stuff like that. So I might end up doing all of that before I get to this range cover just because I'm really nervous about doing it, but we'll see. I took this frame down to fix it because the picture looked a little ripply, and I turned it over after doing that, and there's a huge crack down it, which is super frustrating. I'm just gonna hang it back up like this for now. I'm gonna have to fix this at another time. Or not, because it's really bad. Oh, that's so frustrating. Now I can just laugh at how that looks way worse than it did in the first place, and I probably shouldn't just touched it. So I guess I'm gonna have to try and get a replacement glass from a glass store. I think there's one nearby, but geez, what did I do? Seriously, that was a terrible idea. Oh my goodness. Guess what happened today? The stairs are in. It has been way too long. They were installed this morning, and since then I feel like every time I go to approach the stairs I want to like do a big step down like we've been doing for the past like 2.5 months. So they were stained and refinished by my dad to match the rest of the house, which you can now see is not a perfect match for the herringbone in here, but I think it looks pretty good, and it's amazing to have the stairs. And I think I finally solved the baseboard issue, because I think I mentioned it before that this baseboard is like 10.5 inches tall, and Victorian baseboard nowadays is 6.5 inches, and so that's a huge difference to merge this with putting something in here, because there was never the right thing in here. So my new thought is I am going to remove this, and on this corner you can buy these like decorative old-fashioned kind of things. So it will be like this block that comes up and then has this decorative like thingy on the top, and then from this side over I'll do the shorter trim and finish this wall, and then there's like a tiny bit over by the banquette. And then also, because there's this archway here, I will also remove this probably and just install the stuff that I'm using in the rest of the house. I mean, or in the rest of the kitchen. I mean, does it necessarily matter? I have a piece that could go here. I could just leave this alone, but I feel like maybe it's better to just make it all match, since there's no trim that goes down here, but I'm not sure. But I'm gonna go to the hardware store to get some light bulbs and see if they have this at the hardware store near to me. Otherwise, I'm placing a Home Depot order to pick up on Friday, so I will be able to get something else. I guess I could really just do this side and not worry about this, but I feel like it would bother me that they were different heights. I wanted to show you what I am working on, but I also just noticed that I am giving off the biggest Patty Simcox vibes. If you know the reference, let me know in the comments. But I am just working on some art prints. I decided that I wasn't 100% happy about this wall. And I also took the lamp into the kitchen. Chris found the old artwork a bit too dark, so I am giving it a round 2, and I'm gonna get this print I have on the TV printed out to put in this frame. That is just a placeholder, because that is the same print I have in the kitchen, because I printed it wrong the first time. And then because I broke the glass in that frame, I went to my favorite little hole-in-the-wall picture shop, and they had this beautiful wood frame. So I picked this up for $15. It looks a little bit yucky, but I'm just about to take all the nails out, and then I'm thinking of putting this print in it. It's a little bit big because I intended for this to go in a different frame, but I think it'll look really nice in the wood frame. And then I'm gonna see what else I have left. I put a few of the old pictures that I had on the wall in here, and there. And I've got other frames so I can spread them out throughout the house, because a lot of our house still doesn't have a lot of art. I wanted to show you how this art looks in daylight. I think it looks a lot better than what was here. And like I said, this frame is going to be replaced with what's on the TV. And I believe that's coming Monday. So next vlog, you will see the outcome of that. I'm really in love with this one. So I think I told you that the little hole-in-the-wall frame shop I went to, that's where I got this thrifted frame for $15, or no, maybe even less, because I didn't have enough cash and he wanted cash, so I think it was $11. And then this is a print I got off of Etsy. This is a frame from Minted. I just thought I wanted to mix in some old with the new. This frame is from H&M, and I think that the color of the matting is a little bit harsh with the print, but can always switch that up. Then this is a frame I found on the side of the road, if you guys remember that. And then this is what's on the other side, and that's why I wanted to mix in some of the newer frames, as well as the light colored wood. So this is the picture I was saying I got printed, and it's gonna be in the other frame. Are you a good helper? Did you help put this table together? Now that the stairs are finally in, I can show you the chair situation that I set up here, and I put this little basket with blankets and magazines. And then these chairs. This, I think I'm actually gonna return because I don't like the color. I was gonna paint it, but Chris wants something different, so that's fine. It's really nice to just sit here. They've been here for a few days, and I've just been sitting here while I wait for my tea, or Chris will sit here while I'm making dinner or something, which is really nice. And then eventually we're hoping to have a frame TV above so that when you're sitting at the banquette, you can watch TV, or when I'm cooking, I can also watch TV. But I think that purchase is going to be in a little while just because of all the expenses with the kitchen reno. We don't want to go and splurge on a really expensive TV. And then I'm still trying to figure out what to do here, but I think that something needs to happen. I'm attempting to work on the baseboard today, but it's super rainy, so I can't really go out and make any cuts, but I've got to figure out how to cut these pieces of the new baseboard, because I'm going to take this out and then put the new stuff. So it should be interesting. So I remembered there was this corner of trim in my office that does this, which is what I need to do in the kitchen, but how do I figure out these angles? So, you know, just pulled out my handy dandy tool from elementary school to figure out what crazy angle is going on here. I'm gonna take a pause on this. Honestly, it's too rainy to be out there and dealing with that. So I am going to be putting these little hole things in all of these holes because the shelves are all in place now. I'm not changing it around, and I don't really want to stare at these little holes up the sides that you would use if you were gonna mess around with the shelves. So I bought these from IKEA. They were super cheap, and there's a bunch of little hole covers, so I'm gonna put those in. See, I just put in these ones, and from far away you can't even see them, so I need to do that for the rest, which it takes a lot of coordination because these are perfectly like sized to go in the holes, and you can see they've got a little bit of threading to it, so it's hard, but something arrived while I was working on this. The new entry rug to replace the one that I took to the kitchen is here. I don't think I like it as much as the other one, but I still think it looks really nice. It's showing up quite pinky on camera, but it's got a lot of sage in it. There, you can see the colors a bit better here, which work really well with the rug in our living room. So I think overall that's pretty good. The piece of art that I had here I didn't like as much with this, so I'm gonna put something else there too. Got the one side finished and it looks so much better. Still got this whole side to do, but honestly it was so frustrating. On the package it shows them putting them on, like not pulling them off the strip, but I found that harder, so I have to like individually rip one off and then put it in. But it's very annoying. So all the little holes are filled. You really can't tell from here, and if you're wondering what happened to the lighting situation, I did get another set of these to put lower down, and I guess I didn't get it on video, but it looked really bad. So I took it out, and I guess it just is what it is, unfortunately. Also, someone asked on Instagram why I didn't use spackling to fill the holes, and I could after the fact go back and do that, but we'll see how it goes. If it's bothering me, I will do that. And the other day I switched out the hinges in here on this door so that it opens wide. So this one, that's as far as it will open, but I switched the hinges. So these are the IKEA hinges that are 110 degrees, and these are the IKEA ones that are 153 degrees. The reason I knew about them is because this cabinet has them as well. Not these ones, but these ones here. So that is why I did that. And someone was asking about the cabinet lighting in here, so I will show you the ones that I took out so I can explain it. So here is the little puck light that is in this cabinet. The ones that are installed are actually white. They were sold out. So it clips on to here, but to install it, you take this ring off, and they provide you with screws, and you just put these screws into the top of the cabinet. Then you pop this in. There's a little spot for the cord, so you just line it up. Then they tell you what size drill bit that you're going to need to use, and you drill it through the back or the side of the cabinet. It's up to you. And then this little piece, you push it through, and I will show you where that goes. So this is the cabinet right beside, and I think I explained in the last video that we had taken out the electrical for the previous lighting, but we decided that we did end up wanting this lighting here, so it meant it had to be plugged in somewhere. So behind this KitchenAid, you can see I've got this cord running up into this cabinet. You can see the lighting is all under here too. So this is obviously not ideal, but it is what it is, and you can't really tell, to be honest. So I've got a cable hider thingy in here, and then the very top shelf, which I still haven't filled, I have got the plugs and stuff. So this is the power supply from IKEA. It has a switch on it, and I also have the Wi-Fi adapter so that Alexa can control this. Then this is the little gizmo that is attached to the power supply that you plug all of the different lighting strips into. So these two are the ones that are coming from over here. So what I did is I dropped you can see I drilled the hole at the back. You can see all my fingerprints too. I drilled a hole at the back, dropped it down, and then I put it through the cabinet and up into the section. So that's this long cable, and this is the end piece that then plugs into that little modem that is back in here. So those two are controlled for those. And then this one is for the cabinet lighting that is underneath these cabinets here. And I think I explained in the previous video that there are 5 lights under here and only one cable that actually runs up in my cabinet, because they give you these little connector pieces so that they all push together, and when you push them together, it makes them a connected circuit so that you don't need to have those wires running everywhere. So it's really smart, and it's all hidden up there, and it doesn't take up that much space, but I actually think that it's maybe better having it hidden in the cupboard rather than underneath your cabinet. And because I have it hooked up to Alexa with the smart IKEA system, I don't actually need this switch. But it also came with a little tiny switch here. So it also came with this little switch, which is magnetic, and I could have just attached it on the side or here or somewhere to control the lights rather than having it hooked up to Alexa. So you don't need Alexa to do it. You don't even need this, because you could just use that switch up there. But I think that this does help a little bit. So I like that I hooked it up to Alexa. I originally didn't have that bridge, but now I can say, Alexa, turn the kitchen lights off.
Okay.
And that's what she does. And then I also created a nighttime routine where I tell her good night. She puts our alarm on, she turns the kitchen lights off and turns the bedroom lights on. So I kind of love that. And then someone else asked how I styled this. So it's kind of like how you style a bookcase. And I guess when you're styling bookcases, you're kind of doing it in triangles. So you want sections that are high and sections that are low. I didn't move over that, but I guess some people might think, well, why do you have books in your kitchen? But they're actually all cookbooks, so I think that that is pretty reasonable to have in here. And most of the stuff is stuff that we do use, just not that frequently. Like these are serving bowls, a jug, placemats, a brie baker, a mixing bowl that I don't use as often because I have my KitchenAid, some cake stands, see some cookbooks. These are little egg cups that are just super cute. Some more cookbooks and decorative vases and things like that. And then I also put in some little pieces of framed art, which are just little prints I printed off of Etsy and put in like Dollar Shop or thrifted frames. So I hope you guys found that a little more helpful. What I would say is when I like to mix in books as well as objects, and obviously it's a kitchen, so there's going to be more objects than books. But I think having the books is still great. Having the frames, I also love to do in bookcases, and as well as here. I just think that looks really nice. Also, if you're doing stacks of books, I don't like to repeat it, so I wouldn't have 2 stacks here and then 2 directly above. I would switch sides. But I also wouldn't do like zigzag because I think that would be pretty obvious. So you can see I broke it up here by putting 2 stacks. As well, I think originally I had 2 vases on here, but then I had 2 up there, and I thought that that looked a little bit awkward because they're so close together. In a bookcase, I don't think you would know, but because in this particular instance they're quite close, I think that that is something that I watched out for. Same with the bowls. I made sure that these weren't stacked directly above each other, and I put them on opposite sides. But yeah. Also, the glass is still being replaced for here in case you're wondering the outcome of that. Also, I'm going to comment on these little latches. So for everyday use, this would be particularly annoying. If my cabinets here had those latches, I think it would be annoying to use. And I sometimes do find it a little annoying to use here, but it's not a big deal. But you have to open the right side to open the left side. So that's why it's a little annoying. A few weeks ago, before our kitchen was done, Magic Spoon sent me some of their cereal to try. If you haven't heard of them, it's basically cereal for adults with so much protein in them. So this one's got 13 grams of protein per serving, and I believe this one's supposed to be the best, obviously mimicking Fruit Loops. Then there is cocoa, peanut butter, and frosted. So Chris is a huge cereal lover, and that is why I thought it'd be amazing to try this, because I would obviously prefer him to be eating something like this rather than the alternative. So I will let you know how it goes. I didn't grow up eating much cereal, but this looks really good. So I'm definitely going to try it, and I'll let you know what our thoughts are. I wanted to report back about how these were. So this one was really good, and Chris, who loves Fruit Loops, said that it was good. So he definitely wouldn't have said that if he didn't like it. He wouldn't have finished it. So that one was very good. And someone else, when I posted it to my story, said they also liked that one. This one I also thought was good. When I was a kid, I remember on holiday we would get those multi-packs of cereals, and there was a chocolate like Rice Krispie one, and it tastes very similar to this. So this was yummy. And then these two I have not tried yet. However, someone responded to my story saying that they really didn't like this one, so now I don't really want to try it, but I will. I'll get to that one eventually, and then this one I'm also looking forward to, but I just don't want to have 4 boxes of cereal open at once, so once we finish off one of these, I will move on to these, and I will let you know how those go. I'm going to wrap the vlog up here. I'm all ready to start on the upper crown in the kitchen, and then potentially the baseboard, because it's a nice day so I can get outside and do all of the cutting that I need to. So I hope you guys have an amazing week, and hopefully next week the baseboard and the crown will be done, and maybe if we're really lucky I might have started on the range cover, but I'm not 100% sure.